Derek O'Connor has two runners in here, and the one he's partnering himself, the 6, Laris Tote, is in a colour change. It's in navy with grey stars on the sleeve and some sort of grey star, I think, on the body as well. Starter calls him in. Off and racing. We commence the 2025 Tallow races with the Sunnyhill stud and Pegus horse feed sponsored 4-year-old Maiden. 6 runners leave the starting area and they're led along by Make Idaho Great. Just in front here from Lamerick, who will be in the 2nd spot. 3rd position is Hit in the Headlines. So coming around this fence and about to come up past the judge, so they'll have 3 circuits and 15 fences to take from this moment. And it is Make Idaho Great, representing the Doyle team who won this race 12 months ago, who's out there in front from Lamerick, who travels in 2nd. A couple of lengths then to the grey horse, Dan Lauren, who's just edging the 3rd spot at the moment from Hit in the Headlines. And then you got the 2 stable companions from the O'Connor yard in Galway at the back of the field, Laris Tote and Ayade. Left hand, they're going to turn now and come to the 2 fences on the roadside. Make Idaho Great, local jockey Brian Donlevy, just in front here from Barry O'Neill in 2nd, aboard Lamerick, as they go to number 2. Make Idaho Great, Lamerick, 1 and 2, 3rd position. Another local jockey, Shane Cotter, aboard Hit in the Headlines. And then you got Lee Shanahan, he's aboard Dan Laran. Lee had a good day yesterday, winning the Huntress Chase up at Nace. Back in 5th place then, Travel's Own Man, aboard Ayade, and the back marker, Laris Tote. So they've taken those 2 fences and now make their way towards the end of the 1st mile. And setting the tempo is Make Idaho Great. He's travelling along at a sensible pace for these 4-year-olds, tracked on the outside then by Lamerick, who will be in 2nd as they go to this next fence. These 2 now shuffle on by 3 lengths for the next pair in tandem. Hit in the Headlines is alongside Dan Laron. So onwards now to fence number 4 of the 15. Make Idaho Great was out-jumped at that fence by Lamerick, who pinged it on the level. There's nothing between them once again. Sitting just in behind now in 3rd position is Hit in the Headlines. And these 3 amble on then from the 4th, which is now Laris Tote. Dan Laron has dropped back to 5th and last of the 6 runners. Anchored at the rear is Laris Tote. Aradaya, stable companion, is just in front. So now, with 5 fences down, 10 more to take and 2 laps to cover, Make Idaho Great is just in front from Lamerick, who's in 2nd. Sitting all the time, a length and a half off the 2 leaders, is Hit in the Headlines. Up into 4th is Ayadaya. 5th position then, Dan Laron, and Derek O'Connor sits comfortable there at the tail of the field aboard Laris Tote. Striding out over this next fence, these 4-year-olds all jumping neatly. And now they're on the turn to the 2 on the side towards the back straight. So Make Idaho Great has disputed the running for the first half of the race here with Lamerick. They remain 1 and 2 ahead of Hit in the Headlines. Up there in 4th place is Ayadaya over the next one. And Lamerick is jumping very neatly at the moment. Again, gained a length or so in the jumping department there from in 2nd, Make Idaho Great. So at the next one, Lamerick, Make Idaho Great, 1 and 2. Now coming up to share 3rd spot is Ayadaya, who's racing on the outside of Hit in the Headlines. The 2 who are 5th and 6th are Dan Laron and Laris Tote. Again on the swing to the fence before the home straight. This will be 7 from the finish in the 4-year-old Maiden, kindly sponsored by Sunnyhill Stud and Pegus Horse Feeds. And there is nothing at the moment to choose between Lamerick and Make Idaho Great. Brian Donlevy and Barry O'Neill going toe-to-toe towards this next fence. Lamerick, again, very, very fleet-footed over that one. Out jumped Make Idaho Great, who in fairness isn't jumping too bad himself either. It's just that Lamerick is pinging these fences and gaining. If we had a jump index on this race here today, he'd be doing best of the 6 at the moment. One who's dropped out at the tail of the field, Dan Laron, the grey, is pulling up before the 6th last. So as they take this fence, and we've got 5 remaining horses, and there's not much between them. Lamerick has led in company with Make Idaho Great, but now Derek O'Connor over that last furlong has made a rapid move aboard Lara's Tote to come up and view the front. So with that move, Lara's Tote is now alongside Lamerick, just dropping back to 3rd, but not done with his Make Idaho Great. 4th position is hitting the headlines, and last of the 5 is Ayadaya over the 5th last fence, and now they're really picking up the tempo. Lamerick from Lara's Tote 1 and 2. All the time a length and a half or so down, sharing 3rd, hitting the headlines on the outside of Make Idaho Great, and to his credit, Ayadaya's sitting pretty, still last of the 5, holding every chance. So only 5 runners left in the contest, but only 5 lengths covering them as they come over this 4th last fence. And again, Lamerick jumps neatly on the outside there with Lara's Tote. Lamerick, Lara's Tote, followed up by Make Idaho Great over this one. Again, Lamerick gained half a length there from Lara's Tote, who fights back in the flat. Now coming back up to join him again is Make Idaho Great, as Brian Dunleavy is putting down his case in this 4-year-old maiden. So they're swinging now to the 2nd last, and the tempo continues to rise. And at the head of affairs, nothing between Lara's Tote and Lamerick. As they race to this one, they go on from Make Idaho Great. Here's the 2nd last fence, and they're flying down to it. And at this one, Lamerick and Lara's Tote again, both jump it well, just biting the turf there, but coming off the ground quickly was Lara's Tote in the hands of Derek O'Connor. But Lamerick will not go away. They've seen away Make Idaho Great, and now staying on in 3rd and coming home well is hitting the headlines. Lara's Tote, Lamerick, and hitting the headlines. 3 horses for the 4-year-old, and here comes hitting the headlines. He's jumped it neatly. The other 2 came down, hitting the headlines. I think he was going to win in any case, but he's going to record a win for Shane Cotter. First for him in Cork in quite some time. Left in 2nd was Make Idaho Great. 3rd was Ayadaya. Down at the last were both Lamerick and who's on his feet, Lara's Tote. Just waiting to see both horses rise after that tumble. Hopefully they will. So the dramatic final fence there sees hitting the headlines come up on top. He looked as though he might have taken the 2 fallers, Lamerick and Lara's Tote.
The result of the first race: first number 10, second number 1, number 5 is 3rd. 10, 1, number 5 is 3rd, 3 finishers. And your distances were 14 lengths and 3.5 lengths. 14 lengths, 3.5 lengths. The second race, the 5 and 6-year-old mares maiden, sponsored by the Old Road Stud and Gain Horse Feeds. There are 9 runners. The runners and riders won Mr. D.H. Allen. Number 2, Mr. E. Mann. Number 5, Mr. P.A. King. Over to page number 7, Mr. J.G. Murphy.